other possible evidence for covert dealings between the United States military and purported alien beings, whoever or whatever they may finally prove to be, and from wherever or whenever they may hail, appears in an enigmatic little book by Dan Sherman titled Above Black, Project Preserve Destiny, purporting to be a true-life account of Mr. Sherman's experiences. In a nutshell, Dan Sherman is an ex-Air Force sergeant who maintains that he was covertly trained in a clandestine underground facility in Maryland as an intuitive communicator between the National Security Agency and ostensibly alien beings. He served in the Air Force as an electronic intelligence specialist and says that he performed duties for the NSA on the side as an alien communicator, using his regular Air Force duties as a cover. That's from Secret and Suppressed 2, Banned Ideas and Hidden History into the 21st Century, edited by Adam Parfrey and Ken Thomas. An interesting book. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. Apparently the stench of truth is getting through to some people finally. Even the unions are finally coming to grips with the fact that their beloved savior, President Obama, has sold them out. I read in a story today that the unions went to a meeting with the president, expressing their dismay at his insistence on taxing so-called Cadillac health plans. Now, what does this tell you? The unions are mad because a lot of their members have negotiated through their unions good health care, and they want to keep it. And the president is talking about taxing it 40 fucking %. Now the unions want a tax to be put on the rich. Well, I'd rather see no taxes on anybody. But if something's got to be taxed, you should tax the people that have the fucking money. That much makes common fucking sense. But apparently it's President Obama that is pushing for this Cadillac health plan tax. So, in describing good health care that's been negotiated by unions as Cadillac insurance, I'm sure his insurance is Rolls fucking Royce or Bentley, perhaps. But I won't see him making any concessions with his plan. And what does this say about the goal of health care? It's to make sure everybody gets the minimal, the least bit. That's why we have to continue to fight on this health care issue. It's not a done deal. It's not finished yet. The fat lady has not sung. I, for one, am not resting because this issue is not over, and it must be fought with every ounce of our ability to do so, in every way possible. My linchpin issue that I keep hammering home to my representatives is no reform at all, so-called reform. No reform at all that puts it on the back of seniors by cutting Medicare. That's my linchpin issue. That's what I hammer home every time I write, every time I call, every time I say anything on this subject. That's my linchpin issue. I suggest you take a linchpin issue, whatever it is, and hammer that home every time. Make sure it's something that they can't get health reform passed without, so that everybody has a key thing that they're fighting against that will prevent them from putting any of this entire fiasco plan together. And need I remind you that the tax that's going to be on your Cadillac health plan, you're going to have to pay that. This is not going to be in any way a hindrance to insurance companies or a way to check them. So the unions, particularly the Teamsters, have said, well, it should not come as a guarantee that anybody should think that labor is going to automatically vote Democrat. Now, what that tells me is that this is setting things up, all right? And maybe it's being done on purpose, because this whole left-right paradigm thing is something that they foster and that they try to perpetuate as long as they can, because it seems to diffuse the situation every couple of years when people get up in arms at the radical way that the right who's in power or the left who's in power is handling things so that they can vote for the other guy. Well, I have this to say to the unions and everybody else. Yes, the Democrats have sold you out and sold you down the river, okay? So, it's very important to get the fucking scum scraped out of the fucking Congress. That is only one side of the equation. The other is, do not vote in the other motherfucker on the other side. So that means if you're getting rid of a Democrat who has fucked you over, do not vote for the Republican fucking twit. What I'm looking for in candidates are candidates that have no ties to corporate money. None. They're getting no money from banks. They're getting no money from big business. They're getting no money from corporations at all. None. Those are the only candidates I'm interested in. And if I can't find one with none, then I'll take the one with the less amount. The least amount. Because then his influence hasn't been completely corrupted yet. And at least he's going to start off on a better foot. So please, for the love of God, please, you got a Republican asshole you want to get rid of? Get the fuck rid of him. But do not think that your answer lies over there in the fucking Democrat asshole. Because both of them are going to fuck you in the end. It's only a matter of what way they do it. Thank you. Good night.